Let's prepare on soil mechanics. Origin of soils. So Dr. Carl Terzaghi is known as the father of soil mechanics, who introduced this concept in the year 1925. So how is soil formed? So it is formed by two means. The one is the decomposition of organic matters, and the next one is the rocks when they are weathered by any physical or by chemical means also. It is formed as soil. So when we see the geological cycle of the soil, from how it is produced and how it is transported, it can be divided into four sectors. The first one is the weathering of rocks, where the origin of soil is happening. And the second one is the transportation. So after formation, it is transported by some other means, and then it is going on to some place and it is deposited there. So third one is the deposition and upheaval. So after deposition, on going on deposition for several years, it becomes upheaval. So these are the geological cycle of the soil. So the first we saw is weathering. So this weathering can be studied as physical weathering and chemical weathering. So if it is due to temperature, abrasion, or by the growth of plant roots or ice wedging action, means it all comes under the physical weathering. The soil that is formed due to this will be of coarse grain and it will be of cohesion less only. So it is like sand or gravel. But when it is done by the chemical weathering, means it will be of cohesion soil and it will be very fine grain. So it can be by means of chemical reactions like oxidation, carbonation, leaching and hydration. So the soil formed here will be of type clay and silt, which is of very finely sized soil. And the next is the transportation. So the transportation can be done by various factors. So based on that also the soil can be classified. The first is the soil transported by river. So that is called as alluvial soil, which is a very soft soil. And then if it is transported by lake, it is lacustrine. If it is by sea, it is called as perrine or marl. If it is by wind, it is aeolian, loess or dune. This will be of a very finely graded soil and it will be of high compressible soil. And the next, if it is by gravitation, means it is called as colluvial or talus. If it is by glaciers, then it is glacier drift till, or it is also called as outwash. And the next is, if the decomposition of vegetative matter gives a soil, means it is called as peat. So it will be of fully organic content, fibrous and compressible also. If it is both by organic and inorganic, means it is called as muck. So when this muck and peat is combined, means we call that soil as cumulose soil. And the soil, that is the ash that is obtained by the volcanoes, are called as bentonite, and it has a high water content of nearly 500%, and it is a very porous soil. And the next is the sticky soil, which is also called as gumbo. And the third factor is the deposition. So if it is deposited in the same place, we call it as residues. If it is transported and deposited, we call it as sedimentary soil. So that is the difference. So sedimentary soil is deposited in another location. The residual soil is deposited in the same location where it is produced. So it is without transportation. For example, black cotton and laterite soil. So if we consider the forces that is present in the soil, means the gravitational force will be always proportional to the mass of the particle. So as the particle size is greater, its gravitational force also will be greater. But it is inversely proportional to the surface force. So the smaller particles only will be having a greater surface force here. And next, these are some types of soil. A muram soil is nothing but a gravel plus red clay. And Vav clay is nothing but clay plus silt. That silt is from lacustrine, and the loam is nothing but sand, silt and clay. It's a combination of these. And bentonite is volcanic ash. We have already seen this. It will be having high water content because it will be having a montmorillonite mineral in it, which is having a great property of high shrinkage and swelling. Thank you, and keep watching for the next lecture on the properties of soil.